Long before hospitals and pharmacies dotted our cities, healers turned to the earth itself for cures, relying on whispering leaves, gnarled roots, and delicate petals to mend the body. What if I told you the most potent medicines of our ancestors weren't brewed in labs, but grew wild under open skies, hidden in ancient texts and whispered through generations? These remedies held secrets modern science is only beginning to understand. Today, we're unearthing the forgotten wisdom of civilizations who healed with nature's bounty, from the Nile's fertile banks to the misty mountains of China. These weren't just treatments, they were lifelines crafted by hands that knew the earth's rhythm, and the most astonishing part, their power hasn't faded with time. As we trace the footsteps of history's greatest herbalists, you'll discover how their knowledge can still transform your approach to wellness today. This isn't just a story of the past, it's a key to unlocking nature's timeless pharmacy. The roots of herbal medicine stretch deeper than we might realize, buried in the very foundations of human history. Archaeologists have uncovered traces of medicinal plants in prehistoric graves, revealing that even our earliest ancestors recognized nature's healing gifts. Take the Sumerians, who inscribed their knowledge of willow bark, nature's original painkiller, on clay tablets over 5,000 years ago, or the Egyptians, whose Ebers papyrus reads like an ancient pharmacist's manual, detailing remedies for everything from digestive ailments to wound care, all crafted from plants like garlic, honey, and frankincense. But here's what's fascinating. These weren't just random experiments. Healers spent lifetimes observing how certain leaves soothed fevers, which roots eased stomach pain, and when flowers bloomed with the strongest medicinal properties. They passed this wisdom down through generations, refining it like a sacred science. And while modern medicine has given us incredible advances, there's a humbling truth in these ancient texts. They remind us that some of the most effective healing traditions began not in laboratories, but in the quiet partnership between people and the earth. Picture a sun-baked desert where a spiky green plant holds the secret to eternal youth. That's how the Egyptians saw Aloe Vera, a plant so revered they called it the plant of immortality. While pharaohs buried it in tombs as a gift for the afterlife, living royals like Cleopatra slathered its cooling gel on their skin, believing it preserved beauty for centuries. But this wasn't just vanity. Scrolls from the time reveal aloe treated battlefield wounds and soothed stomach ailments, a practice later adopted by Greek healers who documented its power to mend burns and calm infections. Fast forward to today, and labs have isolated the very compounds ancient physicians trusted: polysaccharides for healing, enzymes to reduce inflammation, and compounds that fight bacteria just as effectively as they did in Thebes or Athens. Whether you snap a leaf to soothe a sunburn or reach for a bottle of its extract, you're tapping into a 3,000-year-old lineage of healers who recognized what modern science now confirms: some remedies are too potent for time to erase. Across the lush landscapes of ancient India, healers discovered a golden treasure hidden beneath the earth: turmeric, a spice so potent it became sacred in both medicine and ritual. Long before scientists identified its active compound curcumin, Ayurvedic texts hailed it as a cure for everything from joint pain to digestive woes, even burning it in ceremonies to purify the air. What makes this rhizome extraordinary isn't just its vibrant hue, but how modern research echoes what sages documented millennia ago. Studies now confirm curcumin's power to calm inflammation, rivaling some pharmaceuticals without the side effects. Ancient practitioners prescribed turmeric paste for wounds, mixed it with honey for coughs, and brewed it into tonics to strengthen vitality. Today, you'll find its legacy alive in trendy golden lattes and capsule supplements, but the most profound truth remains unchanged. When science finally tests these time-honored remedies, they often reveal wisdom far ahead of their time. Turmeric doesn't just connect us to history, it proves that some of the best medicines have been simmering in pots, not test tubes, for thousands of years. Few plants have woven themselves into human history quite like garlic, a humble bulb worshipped by pharaohs, carried by Roman soldiers, and hung over doorways to ward off darkness. In ancient China, physicians prescribed garlic to aid digestion and balance energy, while Greek athletes ate it raw for strength before competitions. Hippocrates, often called the father of Western medicine, relied on its pungent cloves to treat everything from chest infections to fatigue. But what's truly remarkable isn't just its enduring reputation, it's how modern labs have unraveled the science behind its power. That unmistakable aroma, it's allicin, a sulfur compound that acts like nature's antibiotic, punching holes in harmful bacteria while leaving our cells untouched. Studies now show garlic can lower blood pressure as effectively as some prescription drugs, and its antioxidants may shield arteries from damage, just as medieval healers claimed when they called it the poor man's treacle. From vampire myths to apothecary jars, garlic's legacy proves that the strongest medicines sometimes come wrapped in papery skins, not sterile vials. Whether minced into a meal or taken as aged extract, this ancient bulb still delivers on its 3,000-year-old promise. Healing doesn't need to be complicated to be extraordinary. Few flavors ignite the senses quite like ginger, that sharp, almost spicy warmth that dances across your tongue. But for ancient healers across Asia, this knobby root wasn't just a culinary delight, it was medicine in its purest form. Chinese physicians over 2,000 years ago prescribed ginger tea to soothe upset stomachs, while Ayurvedic practitioners in India praised its ability to kindle digestive fire. As traders trekked along the Silk Road, they didn't just carry silk and spices, they spread ginger's fame as a cure-all, bundled alongside cinnamon and pepper in precious cargo bound for distant markets. And here's where history gets fascinating. Modern labs have unpacked why this root worked so well. Gingerol, its active compound, acts like a firefighter for inflammation, calming swollen joints and easing muscle pain with the same efficiency it did for warriors and merchants centuries ago. Ever sipped ginger ale for nausea or chewed a candied piece to ward off seasickness? You're tapping into a tradition that predates pharmacies by millennia. Even now, whether grated into a steaming cup or pressed into supplements, ginger proves that some of the most potent remedies don't come with a prescription pad. They grow quietly underground, waiting to be unearthed. Beneath the golden petals of chamomile lies a legacy of calm that has soothed civilizations for millennia. The Egyptians didn't just admire this daisy-like flower, they revered it as a sacred gift from the sun god Ra, steeping its blossoms to ease fevers and quiet restless minds. Centuries later, Roman soldiers carried chamomile tea into battle, believing its delicate aroma could steady nerves before combat. But perhaps no one understood its quiet power better than medieval monks, who cultivated entire gardens of chamomile outside monastery walls, brewing moonlit cups to dissolve the day's tensions. What's extraordinary isn't just its enduring popularity, it's how modern laboratories have unraveled the chemistry behind its magic. Apygnin, a compound nestled within those tiny petals, latches onto brain receptors much like prescription sedatives but without the heaviness. Hospitals even stock chamomile tea for patients today, a nod to its proven ability to lower inflammation and coax the body into tranquility. That gentle cup you sip before bed. It's not just a ritual, it's the whisper of an ancient remedy, handed down through apothecaries and herbalists who knew something we're only now confirming. True healing doesn't always roar. Sometimes it blooms. Among the rolling plains where bison once roamed, Native American healers harvested a striking purple flower with petals like sunbursts, Echinacea, a plant whispered to hold the power of protection. The Cheyenne brewed it into teas for snake bites, while the Sioux applied poultices of its roots to stubborn wounds, trusting its ability to shield the body from harm. When European settlers arrived, they didn't just adopt this remedy, they transformed it into one of the most sought-after tonics of the 19th century, shipped in glass bottles labeled as Mayor's blood purifier. But the true marvel lies in how modern science has caught up to these ancient claims. Studies now reveal Echinacea's secret weapon, compounds called alkylamides, which rally our immune cells like a general preparing an army. During cold season, this flower's extract can shorten illness by more than a day, proving those prairie healers knew exactly what they were doing. What's poetic is how the plant itself thrives in harsh climates, resisting droughts and pests, mirroring the resilience it lends to those who use it. Whether sipped as a winter tea or taken in tinctures, Echinacea bridges centuries of wisdom, reminding us that sometimes the strongest shields grow on slender stems. High in the dry plains of India grows a shrub with unassuming berries, but its roots hold a secret warriors and sages swore by for centuries: Ashwagandha, a name that translates to the strength of a horse. Ancient Ayurvedic healers didn't just prescribe this herb for fatigue or stress, they revered it as a rasayana, a sacred rejuvenator believed to fortify the body against time itself. Texts over 3,000 years old detail how it was simmered into tonics for kings preparing for battle, given to mothers recovering from childbirth, and even fed to elephants to boost their legendary stamina. What's astonishing isn't just its historical prestige, it's how modern labs have mapped its precise effects on our biology. Unlike synthetic stimulants, ashwagandha works as an adaptogen, subtly guiding the body back to balance. Cortisol, the stress hormone that frays nerves and weakens immunity. Studies show this root can lower its levels as effectively as some lifestyle changes. Memory and focus, trials reveal it sharpens cognitive function, much like ancient scholars claimed when they chewed its bitter roots before meditation. Today, you'll find it powdered in smoothies, bottled as extracts, even blended into moon milks by holistic healers, but the deepest truth remains unchanged. This isn't just another wellness trend. It's the revival of a time-tested ally, one that proves vitality doesn't always come from a pill. Sometimes it's patiently waiting beneath the soil, wrapped in the wisdom of those who understood harmony long before labs gave it a name. There's a thorny shrub that blooms across Europe's countryside, its white flowers bursting into crimson berries: hawthorn, a plant so cherished by Celtic druids they wove it into sacred rituals. These ancient healers didn't just admire its beauty, they steeped its berries into tonics they believed could steady a racing heart and mend emotional sorrow. Fast forward to medieval monasteries, and you'd find monks pressing hawthorn into syrups, calling it the bread and cheese tree, not just for its nourishing fruit, but for its power to strengthen the body's most vital muscle. Modern science now reveals why this remedy endured. Hawthorn's delicate blossoms and tart berries are packed with flavonoids, compounds that gently widen blood vessels, easing strain on the heart. Clinical trials show extracts can improve circulation, much like those medieval apothecaries claimed when they doled out berry-laden tinctures to weary travelers. But hawthorn's magic wasn't just physical, it symbolized hope. Its branches hung over doorways to ward off illness and bad fortune. Today, whether sipped as an earthy tea or taken in capsules, this ancient heart ally continues its quiet work, bridging the wisdom of druid groves and modern medicine cabinets. It's a reminder that healing isn't always about breakthroughs. Sometimes it's about returning to roots that have nourished us for centuries. Imagine a field awash in soft purple hues, the air thick with a fragrance so calming it could still the busiest mind. This is lavender, nature's original stress reliever. The Romans weren't just drawn to its vibrant color, They believed its scent carried divine purity, scattering dried blossoms in bathhouses and sprinkling them across floors to freshen the air. Medieval monks took this reverence further, cultivating entire gardens of lavender outside their cloisters, not just for prayer but for healing. They crushed its buds into salves for headaches, stuffed pillows with its flowers to invite restful sleep, even burned it as incense to clear troubled thoughts. What's striking isn't just how little its uses have changed, it's how science now validates traditions once dismissed as folklore. Linalool, the compound that gives lavender its signature aroma, works like a gentle key, unlocking receptors in the brain that dial down anxiety and ease tension. Hospitals have even begun diffusing its oil in waiting rooms, and studies show it can slow racing heart rates as effectively as some relaxation techniques. Whether tucked into a linen sachet, dabbed onto wrists, or steeped into tea, lavender bridges ancient rituals and modern routines with effortless grace. It whispers a truth we're only now fully appreciating. Sometimes the deepest healing comes not from a pill, but from the quiet power of a flower's perfume. Crushed between stones in Egyptian tombs and strewn across Greek banquet halls, peppermint leaves carried more than just a refreshing bite. They held the key to soothing troubled stomachs for millennia. The Egyptians didn't just flavor their bread with this herb. Physicians prescribed it to calm indigestion, grinding its leaves into medicines as precious as gold. Across the Mediterranean, Greek hosts scattered fresh sprigs on tables, not only to sweeten the air but because they believed its crisp aroma opened both hearts and digestion. Fast forward to today, and science reveals why these traditions endured. The same compound that gives peppermint its cooling zing menthol relaxes digestive muscles like a sigh of relief, easing cramps and bloating with precision. Clinical trials now show peppermint oil capsules can quiet irritable bowel syndrome as effectively as some pharmaceuticals, minus the side effects. From temple apothecaries to modern tea tins, this humble herb bridges eras with its unmistakable vigor. Whether steeped as an after-dinner cup or taken as enteric-coated drops, peppermint proves that some of history's simplest remedies still deliver the sharpest relief. In the shadowy corners of European hedgerows, clusters of tiny black berries hang like nature's forgotten jewels, elderberries, a remedy so trusted that Hippocrates himself dubbed them his medicine chest. For centuries, villagers didn't just harvest these fruits for jam. They wove elder branches into protective charms, hung them over doorways to ward off sickness, and simmered the berries into syrups to break fevers. What's remarkable isn't just the folklore, it's how modern research has uncovered the science behind the stories. Packed with anthocyanins, those same pigments that give the berries their deep hue, elderberries act like microscopic bodyguards, blocking viruses from hijacking our cells. Studies show sipping elderberry syrup at the first sign of illness can shorten flu symptoms by days, a revelation that would have made medieval healers nod in quiet satisfaction. From Hippocrates' clay pots to today's pharmacy shelves, this unassuming berry's legacy endures not as superstition, but as a testament to nature's enduring genius. Whether drizzled into tea or taken as a potent extract, elderberry proves that some of the strongest defenses don't come from laboratories, but from the tangled branches of a humble shrub. Hidden along riverbanks and tucked into damp forests, the humble willow tree held a secret more precious than gold to ancient healers. Its bitter bark could silence pain. The Sumerians were among the first to document its power, pressing wedge-shaped markings into clay tablets that described chewing willow twigs to ease aches. Centuries later, Greek physicians like Hippocrates brewed willow bark tea for women in labor, offering relief where no other remedies existed. But it wasn't just the old world that recognized its gifts. Native American tribes, from the Cherokee to the Iroquois, peeled strips of willow bark to soothe headaches and reduce fevers, passing the knowledge down through generations like a sacred trust. What none of these healers could have known was the remarkable compound hiding within that rough exterior salicin, nature's blueprint for modern aspirin. When scientists finally isolated this molecule in the 19th century, they weren't inventing something new, they were decoding an ancient remedy that had already stood the test of millennia. Today, every time you reach for an aspirin tablet, you're holding a fragment of history proof that some of the most groundbreaking medicines didn't emerge from sterile labs, but from the quiet observation of people who listened to the whispers of the land. The Willow story isn't just about pain relief. It's a testament to the enduring dialogue between nature and human ingenuity, where even the gnarliest bark can harbor miracles. In the heart of every traditional Indian home, you'll often find a vibrant green plant growing near the doorstep, not just for beauty, but as a living guardian of health. Holy basil or tulsi isn't merely an herb in Ayurveda. It's revered as the incomparable one, a plant so sacred it's believed to embody divine energy. For over 3,000 years, healers have crushed its aromatic leaves into tonics to calm the mind, strengthen the lungs, and even prolong life. Monks chewed tulsi leaves during meditation to sharpen focus, while mothers brewed it into syrups to soothe children's coughs. But what's truly fascinating is how modern labs have dissected its age-old reputation, uncovering adaptogens that help the body resist stress at a cellular level. Research reveals tulsi's unique blend of eugenol and antioxidants works like a biological shield, regulating cortisol levels while protecting tissues from damage, almost as if science finally caught up to what sages observed centuries ago. Whether sipped as a spicy sweet tea or taken as a supplement, tulsi bridges the spiritual and the scientific, proving that some of the most profound healing grows not in distant forests, but right where we're taught to look for it, at the threshold between daily life and the sacred. Towering above temple courtyards in China, Ginkgo biloba trees have weathered centuries, some even millennia, their fan-shaped leaves rustling with secrets of longevity. Monks didn't just admire these living fossils, they carefully harvested their leaves, drying them into teas believed to sharpen the mind and slow the march of time. Ancient medical texts praised Ginkgo's ability to invigorate the brain and open the channels, remedies for scholars and elders alike. What's astonishing isn't just the reverence this tree commanded, it's how modern research echoes its ancient reputation. Ginkgo's leaves harbor compounds called flavonoids and terpenoids, antioxidants that shield delicate brain cells like armor against oxidative stress. Clinical trials reveal its extract can enhance blood flow to the brain, subtly improving memory and focus in ways that mirror those medieval monastic practices. Walk through any pharmacy today and you'll spot Ginkgo lining shelves as a cognitive booster, but its story runs deeper than capsules. Survivors of the atomic blast in Hiroshima, Ginkgo trees sprouted anew from scorched earth, a testament to resilience that mirrors their role in human health. Whether steeped into tea or taken as a supplement, this ancient tree whispers a truth we're still uncovering. Some of nature's best defenses against time grow patiently, leaf by golden leaf. Bright yellow blossoms peeking through sidewalk cracks or dotting spring meadows, most of us have crushed dandelions underfoot without a second thought. Yet beneath their cheerful facade lies one of nature's most misunderstood healers. Traditional Chinese physicians didn't just tolerate this so-called weed, they celebrated it as ku ding kai, the bitter herb that purified blood and balanced the body's waters. Native American healers, too, brewed dandelion roots into potent teas to flush toxins, while European apothecaries pressed its leaves into tinctures for sluggish livers. What's fascinating isn't just their shared belief in this plant's power, it's how modern functional medicine has caught up. Dandelion's secret lies in two remarkable compounds, taraxacin, which gently nudges the liver to release stored toxins, and potassium-rich sap that acts like a natural diuretic, helping kidneys filter waste without stripping essential minerals. Labs now confirm what herbalists observed for centuries: this plant's bitter edge isn't an accident. That sharp taste triggers digestive enzymes, priming the gut to absorb nutrients while escorting out impurities. Even the plant's tenacity holds a lesson. Thriving in poor soil, it pulls up deep minerals lost to erosion, offering them back in every leaf. Whether sipped as a roasted root coffee alternative or tossed fresh into salads, Dandelion proves that detoxification isn't about harsh cleanses. It's about partnering with plants that have mastered resilience, one golden bloom at a time. In the sun-drenched hills of the Mediterranean, a shrub with slender branches and delicate purple flowers quietly revolutionized women's health centuries before modern medicine took notice. Chasterberry, or Vitex agnus castus, wasn't just another plant to the ancient Greeks, it was a lifeline. Physicians like Dioscorides documented its ability to ease menstrual discomfort and restore balance to the female cycle, while Roman midwives tucked its berries into birthing chambers to encourage healthy lactation. But the most intriguing chapter of its story unfolded in medieval monasteries, where monks dubbed it monk's pepper, not just for its peppery taste, but because they believed it tempered desire, a testament to its subtle hormonal influence. Fast forward to modern clinics, and you'll find this unassuming berry at the heart of groundbreaking research. Studies now reveal its compounds gently nudge the pituitary gland, the body's hormonal command center, helping regulate everything from premenstrual irritability to menopausal night sweats. What's remarkable isn't just its enduring relevance, it's how this ancient remedy bridges eras without losing a step. Whether taken as a tincture, capsule, or tea, Chasterberry whispers a truth both simple and profound. Sometimes the most sophisticated solutions aren't synthesized in labs but cultivated by time itself. Tucked along dusty roadsides and forgotten meadows, mullein stands tall with velvety leaves and spikes of golden flowers, a plant once called nature's torch, for the way its stalks were dipped in wax and burned as lanterns. But this biennial herb carried a brighter flame in the healer's toolkit. Medieval Europeans rolled its fuzzy leaves into makeshift cigarettes, inhaling its smoke to clear stubborn congestion, while Native American tribes like the Cherokee steeped its roots and blossoms into teas that quieted coughs as effectively as any modern syrup. What's striking isn't just its cross-cultural legacy, it's how mullein's tiny hairs, soft as rabbit fur, hold a secret modern science confirms. Those velvety leaves are lined with mucilage, a soothing compound that coats irritated airways like liquid velvet, while saponins in its flowers work as nature's expectorant, loosening mucus with gentle precision. Today, you'll find mullein's golden blooms floating in jars of olive oil for earaches or infused into honeys for throat relief, a testament to its quiet versatility. Laboratories now isolate its flavonoids, verifying what herbalists long claimed. This unassuming plant doesn't just ease breathing, it bridges ancient apothecaries and modern medicine cabinets with every restorative sip. Golden and radiant like a miniature sun, Calendula blooms hold a legacy of skin salvation that spans continents and centuries. The Egyptians didn't just admire these vibrant petals, they pressed them into service, crafting poultices to mend battle wounds and soothe the irritated skin of pharaohs. Roman physicians followed suit, steeping the flowers in oils and wines to treat everything from insect bites to stubborn rashes, while medieval European healers stitched the petals directly into bandages, believing their touch could ward off infection. What makes Calendula extraordinary isn't just its enduring popularity, it's the science behind its sunshine-colored magic. Modern labs have isolated compounds like flavonoids and triterpenoids, which act like nature's emergency responders, calming inflammation while stimulating collagen production to speed healing. Dermatologists now incorporate calendula extracts into post-surgery creams and eczema treatments, validating what ancient healers observed millennia ago. Some of the gentlest yet most powerful skin remedies don't come from high-tech labs but from gardens where blooms sway in the breeze. Whether infused into a soothing balm or dabbed as an oil, this golden flower proves that time-honored wisdom often blossoms where we least expect it, petal by radiant petal. High in the Andean plateaus where oxygen grows thin and frost clings to the soil, a resilient root thrived where few crops could. Maca, the Inca's secret weapon for conquering mountain peaks and battlefields alike. Warriors marching toward Machu Picchu didn't carry energy bars or stimulants. They chewed dried maca for explosive stamina, while royal messengers relied on it to traverse treacherous altitudes without faltering. But this knobby tuber's power extended far beyond physical endurance. Ancient healers prescribed it as a sacred fertility tonic, believing it could harmonize the body's deepest rhythms. Modern science now reveals why this tradition endured. Maca's unique blend of amino acids and minerals works like a natural adaptogen, nudging the endocrine system toward equilibrium without the crash of synthetic stimulants. Athletes from Lima to Tokyo now add its nutty powder to smoothies for sustained energy, while clinical trials confirm its role in balancing hormones, particularly for women navigating menopause's waves. What's poetic is how maca's revival mirrors its own growth cycle. Buried in obscurity for centuries, it's now resurfacing as a global superfood, proving that some of the most potent remedies don't shout, they quietly endure, waiting for the world to rediscover their gifts. Whether stirred into morning oats or taken as capsules, this ancient root bridges Incan wisdom and modern vitality, reminding us that true energy isn't borrowed, it's cultivated, one resilient harvest at a time. Beneath the moonlight in ancient Grecian courtyards and Roman villas, a knobby root simmered in pots, its earthy, almost musky aroma drifting through chambers where restless souls sought slumber. Valerian wasn't just another herb to these classical healers, it was nature's lullaby in root form. Physicians like Galen prescribed it for emperors and commoners alike, while medieval European midwives tucked Valerian sachets beneath pillows to quiet anxious minds. But this remedy's true brilliance lies in its cross-cultural stamina, from Ayurvedic texts praising its calming virtues to Swedish warriors brewing it to steady their nerves before battle. Modern labs have since pinpointed valerianic acid, a compound that coaxes the brain into tranquility by amplifying GABA, the same neurotransmitter targeted by prescription sleep aids. Yet, unlike synthetic alternatives, valerian works with the body's rhythms, easing tension without next-day grogginess. Walk down any supplement aisle today, and you'll find valerian starring in teas, tinctures, and capsules, but its deepest magic remains unchanged. Whether steeped in an ancient clay cup or swallowed as a modern soft jewel, this unassuming root continues a timeless promise that sometimes the gentlest path to rest grows beneath our feet, waiting to be unearthed. Imagine a golden resin so precious it was offered to deities and traded like currency. This is Boswellia, the sacred frankincense revered from the stone temples of India to the sun-baked tombs of the pharaohs. Ancient Ayurvedic healers didn't just burn its fragrant resin in rituals, they ground it into pastes for swollen joints, calling it Salai Guggle, the protector of mobility. Meanwhile, Egyptian embalmers blended it into their preservation mixtures, unknowingly harnessing its antibacterial properties as they prepared royalty for the afterlife. But beneath its spiritual significance lay a practical genius modern science is only beginning to quantify: Boswellia's secret weapon. Boswellic acids, compounds that block inflammatory enzymes with surgical precision, offering relief to creaking knees and stiff fingers without the gut-warming side effects of synthetic drugs. Clinical trials now show what temple priests observed millennia ago. Regular use can reduce arthritis pain as effectively as some mainstream medications while protecting cartilage from further damage. From holy smoke swirling in shrines to capsules lining pharmacy shelves today, Boswellia's journey proves that some of the most potent healing traditions aren't just folklore, they're chemistry whispered through time, still resonating in the bodies of those who listen. In the cobblestone courtyards of medieval Europe, healers cultivated a striking plant with violet blossoms and leaves edged in sharp spines, milk thistle, nature's answer to ailing livers. Physicians of the time didn't just admire its bold appearance, they crushed its seeds into bitter tonics, prescribing them for everything from jaundice to venomous snakebites, convinced this thorny guardian could shield the body's vital detoxifier. Centuries later, modern laboratories uncovered something extraordinary. Silymarin, the active compound in milk thistle, doesn't just soothe the liver, it sparks regeneration, stimulating the growth of new, healthy cells while forming a protective barrier against toxins. Picture a bouncer at a cellular level, quietly deflecting damage from alcohol, pollution, and even some medications. Today, as our livers face unprecedented assaults from processed foods and environmental chemicals, this ancient remedy has surged back into the spotlight. Functional medicine now incorporates standardized extracts to support recovery from fatty liver disease, while emergency rooms in some regions use intravenous silymarin as an antidote for deadly mushroom poisoning. What's poetic is how this plant thrives in harsh, neglected soils, much like the organ it protects, enduring and resilient. Whether taken as a capsule or steeped into a earthy tea, milk thistle bridges monastic herb gardens and modern wellness routines with quiet authority, proving that some of the best defenses don't come from cutting-edge labs, but from humble seeds locked within a spiny embrace. Amidst the golden glow of midsummer meadows, a vibrant yellow flower bloomed with more than just beauty scent. John's wort was nature's own lantern against the shadows of the mind. Ancient Europeans didn't just weave its star-shaped blossoms into garlands for summer solstice celebrations. They hung dried sprigs above doorways, convinced its sunny hue could repel not just evil spirits but the creeping weight of melancholy. By medieval times, monks in cloistered gardens were steeping its petals in olive oil, creating ruby-red infusions rubbed onto wounds and weary hearts alike. What's fascinating isn't just the persistence of this tradition, it's how modern laboratories have dissected its golden blooms to uncover hypericin and hyperforin, compounds that gently nudge serotonin and dopamine levels like a botanical conductor orchestrating mood. Clinical trials now show standardized extracts can ease mild depression as effectively as some pharmaceuticals, with fewer side effects, a revelation that would have made those medieval herbalists nod knowingly. Yet the true magic lies in its duality. While science maps its neurochemical dance, anyone who sipped its floral tea or held a tincture bottle to the light knows its legacy isn't just in molecules, but in centuries of hands passing down a simple truth. Sometimes, the brightest hope grows wild where the sun lingers longest. Few spices ignite the senses quite like cayenne, that fiery kick that spreads warmth from tongue to fingertips. But for Native American healers and Ayurvedic sages, this vibrant pepper wasn't just a culinary spark, it was medicine in its purest, most potent form. Tribes from the Cherokee to the Aztecs blended cayenne into poultices to mend wounds and ease joint stiffness, while Ayurvedic texts hailed it as a circulatory torch capable of kindling the inner fire to melt away sluggishness. What's remarkable isn't just how widely this remedy traveled, it's how modern science has decoded its secret weapon, capsaicin, the compound that makes cayenne burn. Far from just a sensory trick, capsaicin tricks nerve endings into releasing pain-blocking signals, while coaxing blood vessels to widen and rush nourishment to aching tissues. Today, you'll find this ancient heat transformed into arthritis creams, circulatory tonics, even post-surgery patches, all harnessing wisdom that indigenous healers knew long before thermometers could measure its effects. Whether sprinkled into soups or taken as capsules, Cayenne proves a timeless truth. Sometimes the remedy that stings the most delivers the deepest relief. Bathing in the sun-soaked hills of Greece, oregano wasn't just a culinary staple. It was a crown jewel of ancient medicine, woven into garlands for newlyweds and pressed into oils to ward off sickness. The Greeks called it oros ganos, joy of the mountain, celebrating its fragrance as divine blessing. But beyond its symbolic power, healers harnessed oregano's potent leaves to cleanse wounds and calm chest infections, long before microscopes revealed the microbes they were fighting. Modern science now isolates carvacrol, the fiery compound responsible for oregano oil's punch, which dismantles bacterial cell walls as effectively as some prescription antibiotics, yet without contributing to resistance. Studies show it can even tackle stubborn sinus infections and foodborne pathogens, validating traditions that once draped oregano over doorways for protection. Whether diffused as an aromatic shield during cold season or diluted into tinctures, this humble herb bridges temple rituals and clinical research with remarkable clarity. Its legacy whispers a truth we're relearning. Sometimes the most robust defenses grow not in sterile labs, but in wild soil, kissed by the same sun that inspired poets to call it joy incarnate. In the quiet cloisters of medieval universities, where scholars pored over handwritten manuscripts by flickering candlelight, a humble herb crowned their heads not as decoration, but as sacred armor for the mind. Rosemary's pine-like fragrance wasn't just pleasant. It was considered vital for sharpening memory, so much so that students twined its sprigs into wreaths during exams, believing its scent could etch knowledge deeper into their thoughts. Shakespeare himself immortalized this belief in Hamlet, where Ophelia whispers, "There's rosemary, that's for remembrance." But what's astonishing isn't just the persistence of this tradition. It's how modern labs have traced rosemary's cognitive magic to a compound called 1,8-cineol. This aromatic molecule doesn't just perfume the air, it subtly stimulates neurotransmitters linked to focus and recall, as if the plant itself were whispering cues to the brain. Clinical trials now show that even inhaling rosemary oil can boost speed and accuracy in mental tasks, while its antioxidants shield neurons from age-related decline. Whether tucked behind the ear like a medieval scholar's secret weapon or sipped as a revitalizing tea, rosemary bridges centuries with one unshakable truth. Sometimes the best brain tonic isn't a high-tech supplement, but a sprig of leaves brushed by the same wind that once rustled through monastery gardens. Its legacy lingers, not as folklore, but as a fragrant reminder that nature's wisdom often blooms right beneath our noses. Standing at the crossroads of ancient wisdom and modern science, these botanical remedies reveal a profound truth: healing isn't just about chemistry, but about a conversation with nature that spans civilizations. Whether it's the calming embrace of chamomile or the fiery vitality of Cayenne, each plant carries a legacy of trust, whispered from one generation to the next until laboratories could finally decode their secrets. And here's the beautiful paradox: the more we study these remedies, the more we realize how little our ancestors got wrong. They observed, they experimented, and they passed down knowledge that still holds power today. So the next time you stir honey into ginger tea or rub lavender oil on your temples, remember, you're not just practicing self-care. You're stepping into a story written by healers who understood balance long before it became a buzzword. The earth didn't just provide medicine, it offered teachers. Now it's your turn to listen. Drop your go-to herbal remedy in the comments below. We're all students in this green classroom. And if you've enjoyed unraveling nature's timeless prescriptions with us, hit that subscribe button. History's garden is vast, and we've only just begun to explore its deepest roots together. Until next time, may your wellness be as rich and layered as the soil that nourishes these ancient allies.